Coming up on today's episode, you may hear information about different NFTs or investment opportunities. As always, we remind you we are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice, and some of the information you hear may be inaccurate. Enjoy the
Do
show.
your own research. Sorry, fuck that bit up. Hello and welcome to New Fresh Topics. We're not quite cutting edge, but we're close. This is a podcast that discusses NFTs mainly, but a little bit of crypto, some fantasy, some quirky news, some gaming. We do reviews of television shows occasionally,
Right.
that sort of thing. Whatever takes a fancy, I guess. My name is Ross, and this is Jason. How are you doing, Jason?
I'm doing well. How about you, Ross?
Yep, not bad. A little bit sleepy, but it is what it is. You know, it's you can't get a good night's sleep every day. So
No, not necessarily. And you've both been you and I both have been working pretty hard over the last I don't even know how long at this point, at least a few days, right? You've got a new project. We've got a new project.
Yeah.
I've got a couple other projects. You're doing home renovations. I'm not doing any home renovations, but I could always use a little tidying. So,
Well, that's close enough to renovations, right? A little tidy and a Hoover.
tidying Hoover. I finally did something I've been threatening to do on this podcast since we started it, which was get a haircut. So to those of you who only listen and don't watch on YouTube, check out the YouTube. You can see how handsome I look now.
You're looking very suave.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We got similar, not really. I was gonna say we got similar haircuts, but not at all. Not even close.
Well, the short sides, I guess. I don't have any on top though. So but beards, we're bearded men. Yeah. You know, like you're supposed to be.
Yes. Beards, fully bearded. So we got lots of stuff to talk about, and I think we should start. Maybe do you want to start with a little bit of a Crowfolk update?
Sure, yeah. Although I'm trying to think we've been working on it, obviously, but what has changed? Well, I guess I've started rolling out, or I've started creating the honoraries to send to particular influencers,
right,
of note within the Solana community. The idea being is check out this cool Crowfolk that we designed around you, and hopefully they like it and retweet and share, and it'll get more eyeballs on us.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you who don't know, an honorary is essentially a copy of the NFT that has been designed specifically for a person. So in our case, some bigger names, bigger Solana influencers that we're going to try to create an NFT in their image.
Yeah. Well, for example, and by the time this releases, the NFT will be out, I think. So we can talk about this fellow called Gaius on Twitter, at Gaius. I don't know. I don't know his handle, but his name is inspired from Julius Caesar, Gaius. So, for example, I made a crow that looks like Julius Caesar, toga, laurel crown, that sort of thing. Just a bit of fun and for visibility and stuff. So we've been doing that. Obviously, we've been discussing a lot of things on, how to execute further, how to improve the Discord. We had an election recently for our new magistrate.
That's right. That election should end at the time of this recording. I think there's only a couple hours left, but it was pretty tight. Oh, it just ended. So the poll just ended. Okay. It looks like Polly won 10 votes to 7. Pretty close.
Wow. Yeah, close.
Pretty close.
I think it was more votes than last time, although I'm not sure, because there was four options last time, wasn't there?
So,
or was that councilman?
That was councilman. Councilman, okay. I think, had 4 options. But yeah, it's pretty good. And okay, that means that as soon as we're done recording, I can set up the nominations for councilman, which will be fun. And So yeah, if you haven't yet, go ahead and join the Crowfolk Discord. I put the link on our website. I put the link in last week's show notes. I'll put it again in this week's show notes. But it's super fun, even if you're not intending on minting. Hopefully you are. Hopefully you'll support Ross and myself by purchasing a Crowfolk NFT. But even if you're not intending on doing that, head on to the Discord, have fun. It's a whole heck of a lot of fun. We do the acorn economy, so you can earn acorns and bribe elected magistrates with those acorns, and yeah, it's lots of fun.
I just had a thought as well for people who wouldn't purchase an NFT. I don't see why they couldn't earn acorns and then purchase an NFT vial with the acorns and sell it to someone else who has the NFT,
And that would be a good introduction into crypto if they haven't already done that. We can help them set up a Solana wallet and show them how to sell the NFT, and yeah, it'd be lots of fun down that rabbit hole that you may not ever come out of.
Yeah, it's dangerous. You do get caught up in it, but yeah, that is true. It is essentially what we're doing is we made a fake Discord money called acorns, but we are giving out NFTs in exchange for acorns. So it's like you don't even need to have money to have that. You can just earn acorns, get this NFT, and you can trade it with someone maybe for Solana, cryptocurrency. So yeah, that was an angle I didn't even consider, but that's perfectly reasonable. Yeah,
it's a good idea.
Yeah, and also I suppose, like, I'm sort of thinking, well, we do have a few things we're discussing about the project under wraps currently. But by the time we announce these things, or by the time this podcast's out, it will have been announced. We're actually doing an overhaul of the messaging of the Crowfolk, which is basically to give a better view of the overall vision that we have for the video game and the areas of the video game and the story and the future plans, like the long-term goal. It's not just a video game, it's actually creating the blocks to build an even bigger video game and several, and sort of just make it into a studio if we can, So yes, we do have a long-term vision, and that's not been properly portrayed yet within the messaging. So yeah, complete overhaul. And we're by the time this is out, you're going to see the overhaul anyway. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this will be out March 2nd or something. So yeah, no, it's going to be really fun. I'm excited about the project. I hope to see it succeed, and we've got a few things in the works which may help get the visibility out there. So yeah, that's going to be really awesome. Really, really awesome.
Speaking of new things, you have a new thing to show us that I have known about for a little bit, because I know you guys with MasterBrews, but
right.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about this new announcement.
Yeah, absolutely. So just announced today. We're recording on February 22nd. Just announced today is MasterBrews' latest project. I'm sure our viewers and listeners are familiar with MasterBrews at this point. Keith, who was a guest a couple weeks ago, is one of the co-founders of MasterBrews. We've released a game called Ragnarok, and this is an NFT on-chain battle game, all done on-chain and all done through Ethereum. And so what does it being done on-chain mean? Essentially, it being done on chain means that the battle is going to be provably random. So there's no way it can be rigged for one competitor or another competitor. There's no way the outcome can be preordained. Everything is going to be done provably fair, and all the proof for that would be on the blockchain. It's all going to be done as part of the contract. There will be variables in the mint, right? So you may mint a character which has a percentage bonus to this feature or that feature, which may give them a slight advantage or disadvantage in the actual battle. But the odds begin at 50-50, and then the modifiers change it a little bit from there.
That's nice. And it's set within the it's a Viking mythology, essentially, right?
Yeah, Norse mythology.
Norse mythology. That's right. Yeah. So you've got several factions. For example, do you have ice giants?
Oh, that is a great question. Let's see.
Or
We've got Odin.
Or is it the fire giants?
We've got Odin, Thor, Fenrir, Hel,
Mhm.
Jormungand, Loki, Surtur, and Ymir. It looks like Surtur might be a fire guy. And I remember reading something about ice as I was preparing for the project, but I can't specifically recall if that's been done here or not.
Ymir looks like he might be, but I don't know. That's just the first thing that popped into my head when I thought Norse mythology is the ice giants. But yeah, so you get to choose your what would you say, the clan, I guess. What would you call that?
The factions, we're calling them. So there's going to be eight different factions. When you mint, each mint will belong to a specific faction. Those factions will fight against each other. This is right here. So meet the factions. Once sale is completed, a total of 4,096 warriors will be deployed into battle, each representing one of the 8 main factions, 512 per faction. Each warrior will be randomly paired against another, with each warrior having an initial 50% chance of winning the match. That's what I was talking about, that provably fair. A percentage that is modified by their rarity tier and potentially the relative strength of their faction to their opponents. And then a liquidity pool, $200,000 has been raised through private offering, and 100% will be immediately deployed to the liquidity pool. The LP token will be burned. So the LP token being burned essentially means there's no way for MasterBrews to revoke that $200,000. It can be paid out, it can be taken out in different ways, but it can't be undone, basically.
Gotcha.
And then the battles begin. Your warrior will pair off for its first battle, with the winner receiving 80% of the prize pool in the rrok token, and the defeated warrior collecting 20%. Each round will take place every 48 hours until there is only one winner left.
Nice.
So yeah, in terms of rrok is the main currency for Ragnarok. You'll be able to use it to mint new warriors in subsequent seasons. And then, yeah, it's going to have a really cool prize structure, where you'll get paid out based on how well you do and how long you perform for and how well your faction does and things like that. All right, yeah, so I'd like to go ahead and show the trailer for Ragnarok. So let's do that now. Hopefully the sound comes through.
Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. It has been foretold that upon this day, man and god alike will find themselves besieged by giants and demons from all points of the compass in battle, facing death like heroes. Where shall your allegiance lie? Choose your place among the ranks of Odin, the All-Father, Thor, god of thunder, Fenrir, the Devourer, Ymir, the Firstborn, Surtur, Lord of Muspelheim, Jormungandr, the Midgard Serpent, Loki, the Trickster, Bel, Goddess of Death. Choose wisely, or choose them all. To the winner goes the spoils, and oh, what spoils we have in store for you. Introducing Ragnarok, powered by MasterBrews. Mint your warriors and enter a unique on-chain battle tournament, pitting your metagame strategies against other players for incredible rewards and prizes. With only 512 warriors available per faction, act swiftly and choose wisely. Want to improve your chances by serving multiple masters? You can. What will you risk to win it all when Ragnarok is upon us? The more your warriors win, the more bounties they collect. Find out more today on our website.
Yeah, so looks really cool, sounds really cool. We're calling it the MasterBrews proudly introduces to the Ethereum blockchain its first gamified automated NFT drop, or GAND. Innovative game theory, robust tokenomics, and efficient smart contract design combined to fuel a rewards-laden multi-season NFT project. A 12-round bracket-style tournament kicks off shortly after sale closes. All battles take place automatically on-chain and are provably random.
Yep, it was pretty cool. Very epic trailer as well. I particularly like the style of, it's like a motion comic, you know, the part that we've seen at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like still characters, apart from that crow flapping around. Crows are amazing, by the way. But yeah, just like a sort of parallax effect. I love it. The warriors that we get, do they have separate images? Like, are they, or is it an NFT from Odin faction? And you just get like an Odin, if you see what I mean.
Oh, I do, and I don't actually know the answer to that.
Okay,
I like to keep a lot of these things a secret, even from myself, so I can kind of learn and see as they're revealed.
Yeah.
So
well,
that's pretty good.
It's silver linings,
right?
It's funny you say that, because I work in comic books, or I used to. I can barely do anymore, but it's hard to read your own stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I don't even read the scripts. I just check for any color notes, and then just like leave the story. But yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. I understand that. I used to act when I was younger, just in community theater and stuff, and I hate watching myself perform. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. Just while I'm performing, in general, I'm fine with the way I look and sound. But while I'm performing, I do not like to watch myself.
Yeah, tell you what's fucking strange is when you hear your own voice.
Yes.
Like, is that me? Are you fucking serious? Jesus.
Is that what I've always sounded like? I know. I to myself, I feel like I sound like I'm always nasally and whiny. When I was first listening to the podcast, I was like, do I always sound so nasally and whiny?
It's funny how you say whiny.
Yeah.
Such a good word.
Yeah.
You don't sound whiny to me, but I actually had the same thought about my voice as well. Nasally.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Well,
I sound like my brother though, right? Because you've listened to us talk at the same time. Eh?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that, but that's funny.
Strange.
Yeah,
I see the similarities like just all the time between me and Ryan, and like no one else seems to see them. I don't know.
And you got similar faces, similarly shaped faces, and similar. Yeah. I definitely see a family resemblance. We should have Ryan on at some point to say hi.
Yeah, totally. He's an expert in being bald.
Right, and we are always looking for experts, so that's what he can do.
That's true. And apparently it's coming. Male pattern baldness. So we should get an expert on to talk about it and get ready. That's right.
That's right, and that can tie into our into a men's mental health talk as well, because sometimes losing your hair is difficult.
Tell us, Ryan, how was it for you? You just started crying, that would be sad.
I
would love it, but
I got a haircut once when I was in university. So I would have been maybe 19. And the hairstylist said to me in her thick Eastern European accent that once I start to lose my hair, I should come to her for treatment. And I was like, what do you mean once? And she's like, look at all this hair. And she would like rub her head and show me, look at all this hair. It's only a matter of time. Do you lose a lot in the shower? And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't count how many hairs come off in the shower. So, but now it's 19 years later and I've still got a pretty full head of hair. So I think I'm
for sure. Yeah, she was just fucking with you. It sounds like trying to drum up some business.
She also called remember that Rowan Atkinson movie, Johnny English?
Yeah.
She called that a beautiful movie. That's the only two things I remember about her. That she told me I was going to lose my hair, and that Johnny English is a beautiful movie.
It's a strange adjective to call that movie, I would say. Definitely odd.
Beautiful is not the word I would use to describe. Forgettable, perhaps, is a word I would use to describe that movie.
Any movie though, any movie is never really beautiful. I mean, you get beautiful movies, but it's not often you hear that someone say it's a beautiful movie.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, you do get beautiful looking movies. She was fucked up. Yeah. She was hustling. She's trying to relate to stupid kids on a university campus. I don't imagine that's an easy feat.
No, probably not. Certainly not, actually.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm super excited about Ragnarok. I think it's going to once again revolutionize blockchain technology and really continue to carve out MasterBrews' place in the entire space.
Yeah, no, they're definitely good at doing a little something different there. I mean, a little something, a big something different. So I'm definitely excited to check it out.
All right. So I think you've got an NFT project you wanted to share with us this week as well. You should be able to. You should be able to screen share if I've done it properly again. One day, it's only week 9. We'll get this sorted out by week 15.
All right. So this is Vessel Gen 0, or it might be Gene O. I'm not sure. Gen 0 sounds cooler.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. I must say, what I found particularly striking about it was very nice art, but it was on the Tezos blockchain, which is a clean NFT. It's for those of you who don't know, it's very, very cheap to use in terms of transaction fees. Typically, actually, art in general is very cheap there. You get a lot of high edition and very low price pieces of art that are typically very, very good. You get a lot of bad ones, sure, but you get a lot of good ones as well. So it's almost like, as an artist, you don't even want to sell on there. At least that was my feeling, just because you're like, all right, well, I'm selling art, but I'm selling it for peanuts, basically.
Right.
Why would I do that? But the more I have investigated, I have seen more and more sort of higher price things. And this is one of them. It's not that higher price, actually. I think it's no more than 20 Tezos. Anyway, hold on, let me scroll down and find it.
Okay, and when we last spoke about Tezos on the project, I think they were around $2 each.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I wonder what it is now. $3. Okay. All right, so $60 if they're only $20 each, or 15 Tezos. Yeah. They're only $45 US. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so you can get up to 5 editions for pre-sale, up to 10 editions. This is why you're minting. You can either choose, I'll just mint 1, or I'll mint 5, or I'll mint 10.
Right.
Typically, the most that I've seen recently is you just do 1 at a time. That seems to be the default way of doing it now. You just get to mint 1 at a time, and then you can just mint again if you want, just sort of, so like all the bots don't just mint a ton at a time or something. It seems to be the fair way. But yeah, I don't actually know because there's a lot of art here and it's very cool. It's apparently it's been in the works for like 10 years or something, like the IP.
Oh wow.
Started out as like a graphic novel, and the graphic novel is still ongoing. So yeah, lots of cool art, and it's very good art. It's very well, the technique is spot on. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the NFT is. I would imagine that it is this sort of PFP format,
Yeah,
but totally. It doesn't seem to say explicitly, or at least not that I've seen it. I've mostly just skimmed over it. I've not actually got deep into it. But okay, so 2839 out of 5,000 minted, which means it's still ongoing. I'm not sure when the mint started, but I think it's pretty recent. I found this yesterday or the day before. Probably by the time people see this, then it's going to be no more mints. Fingers crossed for them, anyway. But there's always opportunity on secondary market. So,
and you can always check at vesselsgen0.xyz Vessels, VESSELSGEN, the number 0.xyz or XYZ.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, it does look like it is this PFP format. Looking at it, what would you say? Looking at it from an artist perspective, I don't see how they've done the layering here.
No.
At all, in fact, but it looks like it's generated anyway. And if it isn't, if it's 5,000 like hand-drawn pieces, then I'll
Pretty
be very
impressive,
impressed.
especially for $45.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so they do seem to have a beginnings of a roadmap. You've got seasons, you know, season 1, season 2, season 3, how to buy Tezos NFTs. So it gives you a rundown on how you do it. Tezos is pretty straightforward to do. I think you can buy Tezos on Coinbase.
You can
transfer it to your Tezos wallet. I can't remember what mine is, but yeah, I mean, I bought some art off Tezos. I mentioned on the podcast before, and it was very straightforward and it was very cheap, and I'm happy with it. So I recommend.
Yeah, awesome. So, yeah, that's a fun project. That's a fun project. Nice. I'm not currently. I just got into a couple new projects myself. So I'm not necessarily looking for another one to get into, but if I was, that would probably be it.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap.
Yeah, 45. We might as well talk about, while we're on the subject of what I got into. It's because we'll only talk about it for a minute, but it's a really unique. So it's a really unique project, I think, in that they encourage you to burn NFTs that you are no longer interested in, or that maybe you got rug pulled from you, or maybe that were sent to you as spam. So it's called Mortuary Inc. And basically every 12 hours you can burn one of their NFTs, or not one of their NFTs, one of your NFTs. It's only on Solana right now. You can burn, and burning, for those of you who don't know, simply means, in this case, sending it away to a different wallet. It's not actually being physically destroyed. It's code, so it can't really be destroyed, but you're sending it away. You no longer own it. You're burning it. You're sending it to another account. That
irretrievable,
right?
In theory.
And in return you get 1 ASH, which is their token, ASH. Right now there's not a significant usage case for ASH, other than they do come out sometimes with their own NFTs that you can use ASH to mint with. But not only so you can burn 1 NFT every 12 hours, get yourself some ASH, but you can also buy yourself a funeral plot NFT from them, and the funeral plot NFT lets you burn 2 every 8 hours, and instead of getting 1 ASH per, you get 5 ASH per. So you've already increased your payout pretty substantially. I bought one of their funeral plot NFTs off of Magic Eden. And if Magic Eden decides to load, I will check the floor. I bought it at 1.2, which was the cheapest. The floor was coming down at that point. So hopefully I don't check it now and it's like,
tanked.
12, not 12, point 12. Oh no, 1.9. So I could sell it now and make a little bit of a profit. They also have a second selection called minions, which are a little bit higher, 1.98, and a minion lets you, I think it gives you eight additional rate, ash. Right? Yeah, 8 additional ash and faster burning. So who knows, maybe I'll pick up a minion at some point. But
no, I remember, did I check out? I think I checked it out as well. It was mentioned in the HV Discord a while back, but I love the idea. I love the idea of you're able to buy like a funeral plot and burn more as well. I think it's a stroke of genius. Like it's just fun. It's very fun, and everyone's got shit NFTs that they've been pulled the rug out from underneath them, or just shit NFTs that they were sent for people trying to scam them or whatever.
Exactly.
You should burn that. Should burn that orrery, I think.
Yeah, and do it in front of Crypto Bingo. Oh, you know what is interesting though? I bought something off of SoulSea purely for the purpose of burning, and because now, of course, I got myself addicted to buying and burning useless NFTs. So as soon as I bought it off SoulSea, arrived in my wallet 3 spam NFTs, 3 NFTs that wanted me to go to a phishing site, basically. But interestingly, I do not see any of those NFTs here. So I'll have to inquire as to why that is.
Yeah, you should send an email to the senders.
Yeah,
why does your
because that's the whole point, isn't it? To be able to burn shit NFTs.
Oh, you mean send an email to mortuary.inc?
Send an email to mortuary and be like, what the hell? Yeah. And that's all I'm going to say. What the hell?
I have some NFTs that I need to get rid of if you want me to send them to you.
Sure, you can get rid of them by sending them to me. As long as they're Solana.
Yeah, Solana. Yes.
And I'll split my ash with you.
No, please keep it. It's I am generous.
Oh, thank you.
No need to.
Well, now you know, if you ever get trash NFTs, you send them my way.
Yeah.
And then
I also have a couple of trash ones. Yeah. I have some trash ones as well.
Yeah. Well, you could always burn them for ash. I mean, only one at a time, but
oh, true.
You can also buy
ash. You would get 5 ash though, eh?
Nah, I would. Yeah. You could also buy ash off of a specific marketplace, something Foxes. Famous Fox Federation is a Solana project that has their own NFT marketplace, and it's ash is verified with them, so you can actually buy ash. Each ash costs 0.003. So if I get 5 ash for burning, that means that's the equivalent of 0.015, which means I can't buy NFTs that are more than 0.015, or I'll take a loss on it.
Right, I see. So that is Solana, 0.003 Solana.
Yeah. Each ash is worth 0.003 Solana. I mean, today, who knows what it'll be worth?
Well, that's true. If I can get grinding on that ash, son.
Well, yeah, I did buy a bit. I'm sitting on $10 worth, but who knows? Maybe that $10 turns into $1 billion.
Yeah, well, we can always dream.
All right.
No, I think it's a great idea, and it could go places. So I think you're doing well there.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm a sucker for things like that, and it hits that addiction center of my brain where it's just like, okay, acquire more and burn, acquire more and burn. And I guess it also hits the pyromaniac center of my brain as well.
I like it.
Well, should we get to some NFT news?
Yes, absolutely. If I forgot all about it.
Yeah, so if we look at sharing some NFT news, this is an interesting one. Ross and I spoke about whether or not we were going to share it because it's quite dark, but I think it's worth talking about. So to expunge his daughter's murder from the internet, a father created an NFT of the grisly video. So without going into too many specifics, basically this guy's daughter was killed, and the murder was caught on video because she was a reporter and she was reporting at the time. And so the murder was caught on video, and the video has been uploaded to places like YouTube and Facebook. And this father has been fighting to get the video taken down, and kind of remove it from the internet. But you know as well as I do that once something is on the internet, it's on the internet.
It's up there, right? For good. Yeah.
So what he's trying to do, what he's hoping to do is to actually mint that video as an NFT, and then use that to claim ownership over it, to be able to do things like sue for IP rights, sue for DMCA takedowns. And I just don't know don't know whether that will be successful or not. It says right here. It says right here, Parker does not own the copyright to the footage of his daughter's murder that aired on CBS affiliate WDBJ in 2015. But in December, he created an NFT of that tape on Rarible, which is a marketplace like OpenSea, in attempt to claim copyright ownership of the clip. Under existing laws, copyright holders are exclusively able to reproduce, adapt, or display their original work. Intellectual property lawyers said the concept should hold true for NFT, but he wasn't the original copyright holder of that NFT, right? Or of the footage he used to create the NFT.
Yeah, that was sort of my thinking. I mean, I hope it works for him. Legally, I don't know what it's like, but it must be a right downer, to say the least. That your daughter's death is up on the internet and you can't take it down. So try anything. Can't be mad at it,
No, keep trying until something is successful, right? Because you're right. I don't even know. I can't imagine. I can't imagine, and I don't want to imagine.
Yeah, totally.
Well, in some lighter news, not really, but NFT trader sues OpenSea for $1 million over stolen ape with baby's bonnet. So we spoke a couple weeks ago about that OpenSea exploit that basically allowed people to purchase your NFT at a lower price if you had previously listed it for that lower price. So for those of you who remember or don't remember, basically the idea was, if instead of if you had listed an NFT, well, if you don't want to sell it anymore, you've got to cancel that transaction, but canceling that transaction costs gas fees. So to get around that, people were bringing it out, transferring it from one wallet to another and then transferring it back to the original wallet, which on OpenSea made it seem like the original listing had been canceled. It didn't show up anymore, but that turned out just to be a UI error. It just wasn't showing the fact that the listing was still there, even though it actually was. And so once this exploit was discovered, a number of people were able to pick up NFTs at significantly lower costs, like this one. Bored Ape number 3475 has significant value, according to Timothy McKinney. That's a fun name to say, Timothy McKinney. Defendants, being OpenSea, defendant security vulnerability allowed an outside party to illegally enter through OpenSea's code and access plaintiff's NFT wallet in order to list and sell plaintiff's Bored Ape at a literal fraction of the value, at 0.1 ETH. Essentially, OpenSea's vulnerabilities allowed others to enter through its code and force the listing of an NFT. Now, that's not quite how I understand what the exploit was. So I'm not sure if they're talking about a different exploit or what.
It could be the same exploit but different path, basically. So, because once you're in, theoretically you can.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm talking out my arse, really, but
it'd be interesting.
I don't see why there couldn't be. It might not be all the same thing. It might be the same exploit but different results, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, I mean, he was reimbursed a little bit by he wasn't reimbursed. Some people were reimbursed by OpenSea. This one's saying that Justin Bieber purchased Bored Ape number 3001 for 500 ETH or 1.3 million at the time of the transaction. Bieber's Bored Ape has a rarity score of only 53 and a rarity rank almost 10,000, whereas plaintiff's Bored Ape has a rarity score of 138 and a rarity rank of 1400. So his argument is that it's worth more than the $1.3 million that Bieber got for it, which I suppose is a good way to do evaluation.
Yep. I suppose it is more rare, but often the more rare ones, they don't look as good as particular color combinations, or just you know, say for example, you're holding out for a buyer who loves baby chimps.
Yeah.
You know, and this buyer is going to buy the NFT for 5 million as opposed to 1 million. You know, like you can argue this, that, you know, I knew there was a baby chimp lover that was going to buy my NFT for 5 million. So therefore you owe me 5 million from this exploit.
Right. Yeah. It's really hard to, I mean, I don't know how a judge is going to determine a value. It would be really interesting. It must be really interesting to be a judge that handles this type of case, because it's so new. You're basically writing, right? Normally we look at previous decisions. Normally we look at
the precedent.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. But there are no precedents. So judges get to set their own precedent, which has got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, probably. Also, well, maybe not. I was going to say quite intimidating, but then again, if you're a judge, I'm not sure a lot intimidates you, you know?
No, and I mean, that's what maybe if it happens to be your first case and you're like, oh shit, not only is it my first case, but I've got to create case law now. But I imagine if you're an old hand at it, you might not even recognize that what you're doing or the import of what you're doing.
Totally.
Well, we have another fun OpenSea related issue, and that is hacker steals NFTs worth millions from OpenSea users. And this happened yesterday, or at the time of recording, maybe 2 days ago. Originally, it was thought that there was an exploit within OpenSea that allowed people just to go in and start draining wallets, literally taking all the Ethereum and NFTs out of wallets and moving it into their own wallet. So everybody was freaking out. Everybody was saying disconnect from OpenSea and do this and go here and try to protect yourself this way. But it wasn't that. Basically, it was a phishing attack. Somebody was able to, quite a while ago, the way it was explained was basically they were able to create a smart contract and get people to sign it through a phishing attack. And then because OpenSea is migrating its minting contract from one version to another, they were able to take advantage of that migration to sign the other half of the contract, which then allowed them to access these people's wallets and drain them. But again, it was only for specific. I think it turned out to be 32 people.
Right.
As opposed to everybody who's connected to OpenSea. But it's another great reminder that you really don't want to be using permanent wallets with these hot
wallets.
Yeah, like if you're listing something on OpenSea, create a wallet specifically for that.
Yeah, a burner, I think.
Yeah, a burner wallet. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to be storing NFTs in MetaMask, for example, not unless you have a cold wallet connected to it, for example. It's anything with 2FA, two-factor authentication, for example, that would be quite handy. You wouldn't be losing NFTs if you had 2FA.
Theoretically, it shouldn't, without having the recovery code, what's colloquially known as the keys, without having the keys to your wallet, it shouldn't be possible for somebody to come in and drain. And it's really not possible. But what happens is we as humans end up just agreeing to things, right? So anybody can write a code that says, let me access your wallet and take everything that's in there. And if you happen to just click accept, well, then that's what you're going to get. And so it's just a reminder that it's so important. Anytime you're signing a message with your wallet, know what that message is saying. Is it saying checking balances, or is it saying changing balances? Is it saying initiate transaction, or is it saying complete transaction? Because those are big differences, right? If it can initiate a transaction, that's fine. You still have to sign it. but if it can automatically complete a transaction without requiring your signature, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's very, like, if you're in contact with someone and they're walking you through something, like say I am OpenSea and I'm walking you through this issue that you're having. I'm not sure that this is what happened here really, but I mean, already that situation is quite suspect to me, you know?
Yeah.
I would not be comfortable in that situation. So basically, don't have any issues and don't fucking speak to anyone.
Yeah, and
just that's it.
And initiate, you know, if somebody contacts you claiming to be from OpenSea, tell them that they need to email you from their OpenSea account, and then friggin' go to OpenSea, open your own support and say, hey, can you verify that this is an employee of yours, basically. And, if you let it be known that those are the steps you're going to take, most people will just stop bothering you at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes it feels like there is a time to be, what would you say, urgent. And you're in a rush to move things, and oh my God, I need to make sure that this is out of this wallet in case it doesn't get compromised. I'm not sure if that's the right attitude to have. Well, it depends on the situation, obviously, but rushing things and trusting people because of the urgency, just slow down a fucking second and think this through, and then speak to someone you trust, because they will probably say, chill out for a second.
That's right.
Don't listen to this guy. Did he get in contact with you first? Then don't fucking listen to him, basically.
That's right.
Take a step back.
And if somebody contacts you telling you you've won a giveaway, you haven't, right? I do in my role as community manager, I run a significant amount of giveaways. So I'm not saying giveaways don't happen, and I'm not saying you won't win a giveaway. I'm just saying if you win one of my giveaways, you need to contact me, right? I'll promote, I'll put in the Discord, hey, such so-and-so has won the giveaway, but I'm not reaching out to you directly to tell you, because that only encourages bad behavior. You can contact me to claim your prize within a reasonable amount of time, or I'll give it to somebody else.
Yeah. Like you do put it out on the announcements. You have won giveaway, such and such person.
Yeah.
Get in touch with us.
Yeah.
It's basically law that project owners or administrators do not get in contact with you directly now. That's the NFT law.
That's right.
You have to get in touch with them first. That's
right. I will not initiate a conversation with you in my capacity as community manager. Now, when I'm looking to do things like, promote Crowfolk, for example. So I'm reaching out to people over Discord to promote Crowfolk. That's a little bit different. But even then, I really try not to DM out of the blue. I try to get in touch with them over their Discord server first to say, like, hey, is it all right if I DM you? And that way they at least know that it's coming.
Drop it in general chat first. It's like, can I DM you? It's like, yes. All right, cool. And you go for it. It's strange, the little rules that have been established.
Yeah.
Almost without unspoken, it's strange. But I think everyone gets it, or at least everyone who's been in the game for, a month or two, you get it.
Yeah. And the NFT community is overwhelmingly nice for the most part, right? Obviously there are people that suck, and there are projects that suck, and there are project managers that suck, but for the most part, people are fairly nice and welcoming, and they want to help you succeed. Now, if you ask for help, if you ask for help in a Discord server and immediately get a DM from somebody claiming to be support, it's somebody looking to scam you. Nobody is going to DM you first who is legitimate.
No, it's scary, especially in the big servers. That there's a lot of hype involved. Like they just have bots fucking scanning with an N for people to be like, oh, I've got such and such problem, or how do I get whitelisted? And immediately, if you say that within one of these hype Discords, you will get 100 messages with people saying, oh, you just have to fucking sign this here.
Yeah, just go to this website and put in your credentials and
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's rough.
Ridiculous. Well, the last thing I want to talk about, well, is a news that you shared with me, which is really intriguing. Axie Infinity becomes first NFT series to break $4 billion in sales. Now, Axie Infinity is sort of like the gold star, the gold standard of NFTs, I would say. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. Particularly, well, NFT gaming for sure. Like the token, the Axie token itself is like, well, I've not checked in a while, but it was like $50 at least. So it went up to 100 plus even, but it's a strong token anyway. It's a strong gaming token, and typically like a gaming token, you don't think it's going to be worth a lot, but this is.
Yeah.
I've never played it myself.
No, me neither.
I quite like the art, to be honest. I don't know why I've not played it, but well, I guess time's always a factor.
But and
it's a pretty staggering number. $4 billion sales.
$4 billion is a lot of, especially when they estimate that there's less than 1 million overall NFT users, or about 1 million. Right. I can't remember. We read that stat the other week. They also introduced a program which a lot of other projects are now, let's say, borrowing, called their scholarship program. But basically, it's a rental program. It allows you to rent out your NFTs to other people so that they can use them to play the game. Because to purchase your own Axie right now is pretty expensive. I don't know what the floor. I don't know what the floor is, but I know it's expensive.
Are we talking $200 maybe more? Is it? I imagine it's on Ethereum or a layer 2.
Yeah, it's on Ronin.
Okay.
Ronin.
Yeah.
So
you know what? That prices don't look too bad. I mean, it's still a pretty penny for someone who doesn't have pretty pennies. You know.
No, that can't be right, or that can't be what we're looking at. Recently sold 0.01 ETH. Maybe. I think we maybe need somebody who can come on and explain this to us, but I suspect that these are like next generation, like you can breed your own Axie and then sell them. They're probably not probably not the originals.
Looking at the numbers there, 7730831, is that 77 million?
7,730,831. Yeah.
All right. So that's how many Axies there are in theory.
Yeah. So this must be based on a breeding mechanic, just like crypto kitties. So if you want to actually play the game, I wonder why, because if we're talking $25, I mean, not that I'm made of money and $25 is noticeable, but I can spend $25 on a pop culture phenomenon, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say, to finish off the news, I want to mention Canada has a possibility of what would you say, stopping funds from crypto getting into the hands of people who own the crypto, which is to say centralized exchange. I know you're a Canadian, Jason, so I mean, I definitely would not get into the politics of it myself because I don't know anything about it. All I know is there are emergency powers put in place that could see your crypto seized, theoretically.
Canada has a system called FinTrack, financial institution tracking something. I don't know what it stands for, but it's similar to KYC in that you have to know your customer. You have to know where the money is coming from and where it's going to. And previously, companies like GoFundMe, Kickstarter, cryptocurrency exchanges, well, depending on the cryptocurrency exchange, didn't have to be registered under FinTrack. Now they will have to be. That's the change. That's the big change, is that a marketplace that wants to do business, I can't think of one because the ones I use, like I use an exchange called ShakePay. ShakePay is registered as a Canadian financial institution already. So this change doesn't affect anything for them or even for me, really. ShakePay is obligated to, let's say I transfer a fair amount of crypto into my ShakePay wallet. Once it hits a certain threshold, I get a message from ShakePay saying, where did this come from?
Right.
You don't have to go in specifics. It's like, did it come from another wallet? Did it come from a bank? Did it come from another person? Right. So I don't care. I always just put it came from my personal wallet because I'm just moving stuff around. Right. So to that extent, so what this emergency power tries to do is to make previously unregulated exchanges register. But as somebody pointed out, there is a cryptocurrency company called, I want to say it's called Nunchuck. Yeah, nunchuck.io. They say, yesterday, the Ontario Superior Court of Justice sent us a Mariva injunction ordering us to freeze and disclose information about the assets involved in the Freedom Convoy 2022 movement. Here is our official response, and I'll just share it now. So, dear Ontario Superior Court of Justice, Nunchuck is a self-custodial, collaborative multi-sig Bitcoin wallet. We are a software provider, not a custodial financial intermediary. Our software is free to use. It allows people to eliminate single points of failure and store Bitcoin in the safest possible way while preserving privacy. We do not collect any user information beyond email addresses. We also do not hold any keys. Therefore, we cannot freeze our users' assets, we cannot prevent them from being moved, and we do not have knowledge of the existence, nature, value, and location of our users' assets. This is by design. Please look up to how self-custody and private keys work. When the Canadian dollar becomes worthless, we will be here to serve you too. Sincerely, the Nunchuck team.
Oh, so spicy.
Yeah, so other than the unnecessary dig, because you're not, you catch more flies with honey.
Indeed.
Yeah, that just about sums it up. Unless you are trying to become a financial institution like ShakePay, if otherwise you are just an exchange that doesn't deal in fiat, if you just let people deposit crypto, exchange it for other crypto, and then remove that crypto, yeah, you're not going to have any control over. Now, could you create a law that says in order to operate in Canada, you have to collect all of this information regardless of whether you're set up to or not? I mean, you could try, right? I don't know that it would hold up. And there's always going to be ways around it, right? Yeah. Like I can go back to buying Bitcoin the old fashioned way, which is person to person, me handing somebody cash, they sending me Bitcoin into my wallet. And if you're using Bitcoin Core wallet, that there's no tracking, there's no anything. That only exists on my computer.
Yeah, the only thing that any government can do really against Bitcoin would be to regulate the central exchanges. Really, peer-to-peer, there's nothing they can do.
Right.
I think the reason it got my back up and it made me really think about cold storage, cold wallet, maybe even multi-sig, whatever. I'm not there yet. I'm not that sort of massive trader, but it got my back up because they were asking like this multi-sig thing to provide provide information on people.
Yeah.
And even if it's information on people, or rather, even if it's people that you don't like or are doing something wrong, I'm still like, well, that will apply to other people eventually. Like I say, I can't talk to the whole drug of the thing, the convoy movement. I've not been paying attention. Really.
No, and it's not really relevant to this discussion. It's more of a can the government do this, or should they be able to do this? And
my thing is, my thinking is they shouldn't. It got my back up, so I was like, I don't like that. So
good luck.
So I thought it was worth mentioning.
I think it was interesting that they took the opportunity to specifically mention cryptocurrency and some of the banking law changes, because it definitely speaks to future intentions, right? I think governments are going to start to push back against cryptocurrency pretty hard, because if they I mean, if they can't control the money, then really what can they control?
Yeah, no, I do think it's a threat to the current. I'm not sure what we would call it, a structure, I guess. The current structure,
current world order.
Yeah, but I think it's a good thing. Ultimately, obviously, the inflation's not great. You know, your purchasing power is diminished. So anything that can put a curb on that is good news in my book. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't get absolutely wild and chaotic. But
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Okay, well, from a joke of a government initiative over to a joke of the week. What have you got for us today, Ross? I know you've got our comedy bit of the week set up.
That's right. So it's just it's strange. I'm always picking people that are like a generation or two older, because it almost feels classical, you know, like these are the greats of before.
Right.
Basically, it's just Don Rickles, who oh shit, what's happened? Okay, I opened Steam for some reason. Whatever. It's time to game, Ross. Yeah, it's just Don Rickles. It's his video of 50 most savage burns and insults, and it's just this. I know he's just in the crowd, and he's just, you know, riffing a bit, and it just made me laugh briefly. Right. Did I share this with you already?
I don't think so.
So yeah, the thing I love most about Don Rickles, I guess, is just I've never heard him say the same thing twice. It does just seem to be completely off the cuff. Although I'm sure he must have said things before. You know, you can't just have a stream of constantly funny things. Then again, maybe you can, but maybe that's why he's so famous.
All right, so I guess we'll start it together.
Yep.
And 1, 2, 3, 4.
Put a rubber band on your can and you can take off. What a big son of a gun. My God, you ever think of putting a window on your face and becoming a building?
That's it. That's all I got. It goes on. It goes on and on, but it's hilarious.
That is funny. Yeah, you make people say that to me as well, because I'm tall, really? And so if I'm standing in their way, they'll tell me that I make a better door than a window.
All right. Oh, he's funny. I love him.
Don Rickles. Yeah, Don. Yep. You're right. That is a couple generations. I don't know that many people know who Don Rickles is anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's strange. Like, I went from your typical current generation American comics, I guess, to sort of learning about Norm and his sort of posse, I guess, and then Norm would speak of John Cleese or Don Rickles, this sort of character, who are like a generation before them even, and I know it's still funny, you know. So
yeah,
it does feel like when you're talking about music and you're like, oh no, I prefer Mozart,
right?
Beethoven.
Don Rickles is the Mozart of comedy.
That's right.
Yeah, I someone you just mentioned. Oh, John Cleese. John Cleese, I'm a really big fan of. I quite like John Cleese. And Monty Python. I'm a big Monty Python fan.
You know, I've never actually watched the Monty Pythons.
Really?
Which is strange. Like, I'm a fan of Cleese, but what have I watched?
Have you watched Faulty Towers?
Yes.
Faulty Towers is probably my favorite John Cleese thing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
There are so many good jokes. You know, the one that everybody thinks of is an episode called The Germans, where he in his hotel, he's hosting Germans, and this is the early 70s, so not that far removed from World War II. At least, you know, especially compared to today. And he spends the whole show basically saying, don't mention the war. And then of course he gets a knock on the head and mentions the war and does the silly walk, looking a little bit like Nazi, whatever it's called. And it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. So yeah, Faulty Towers. If you haven't checked out any Monty Python, I definitely would. It's quite absurd, right? Quite silly. And I like that. I like sort of off the wall, absurd, silly comedy. So
it's a sort of thing that I wasn't ready to enjoy when I was young, I think.
Right. No, it's hard to.
And that was the same for Norm as well. I found him boring when I was figuring out comedy, like when I first got started. So I was like, yeah, who's that boring old guy, But now I feel I'm ready for it. So I will go back and watch it. But yeah, Cleese he's a very smart guy as well. I've listened to a lot of talks that he's given. He's written books, I've not read them, but I plan to.
One day when you're dead.
Yeah. Plan to. So yeah, no, it's cool. I dig the old guys.
Awesome.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. All right. Well, we've done it once again. We've filled your ear holes with our chatter for another who knows, probably over an hour at this point. And I hope you will join us again next week for episode 10. Episode 10 already next week. Can you believe it?
Oh,
and
anniversary.
Right? It's like, how did that happen? 2.5 months. Anyways, so yeah, join us if you are an Axie Infinity expert, if you are a legal expert, an NFT legal expert, or any sort of expert. You can get in touch with us at asknftpod@gmail.com, asknftpod@gmail.com. Or you can visit our website at nearlyfreshtopics.com. And as for that, as we do every week, we will say goodbye and thank you very much for watching.
Fresh out.